Good morning. Good morning. On behalf of the Fellowship Board of Directors, I want to welcome everyone gathered on-site and online. Whether this is your first time here or you joined us years ago, we're delighted you're here. The best way for newcomers to get more information is to sign our virtual guest book, either via the QR code in your bulletin or at the welcome table in the fireside room. Feel free to stick around for coffee and conversation after the service. Online folks, you too have an opportunity for conversation after the service. Just stay in the Zoom room. There are no special announcements to share today, but please be sure to check the weekly email for upcoming events and other ways to make new connections within this community. Thank you for joining us today.
If peace had a face, what would it be? Would it wink like you? Would it smile like me? If peace had a face, would we realize that we of peace? If peace had a voice, what would it be? Would it laugh like you? Would it sing like me? If peace had a voice, would we realize that we are the voice of peace? If peace had a place, where would it be? Would it shelter you? Would it comfort me? If peace had a place, would we realize that we are the place of peace? And if peace had a name, what would it be? Would it call to you? Would it answer me? If peace had a name, would we realize that we are the face, the voice, and the place, and the name of peace is we.
Thank you, Deb. That was lovely. The earth, forever turning, brings new seasons and cycles that remind us that we are part of something eternal. Here in the northern hemisphere, we are at the midpoint between the summer solstice and the autumnal equinox, at the cross-quarter time known as Lunusu. It's the first of 3 harvest festivals, when tomatoes and cucumbers and peppers are getting ripe, when flower gardens flourish, when we reap the benefits of weeding and also of waiting and watching. Coming back together after several weeks apart, we too reap the joy of friendship, of shared commitments, of growth in spirit, in love, and for some of our young ones out there, growth in inches. We harvest community here, and it is bountiful. So come, let us gather in fellowship. I invite those at home to light a candle alongside us as we light our chalice here, saying all of these words together. We light our chalice in the spirit of peace, fierce and loving. We share a commitment to meet this moment of existential crisis together. Please rise in body or spirit as we sing our first hymn, number 159, This Is My Song.
Good morning. Our story today, the one I'm going to share, is tender and true. And yes, parts of it are sad, but it's also a story of resilience, of community, and the hope that lives on when we remember and act with love. First, we're going to learn a new word together. The word is itadakimasu. Itadakimasu. And it means we humbly receive this food, and it's said before the evening meal. So when you see me put my hands together like this, we will all say, Itadakimasu together. Are we ready? The city of Nagasaki sits along the Sea of Japan. Mountains rise up around the harbor, and houses made of wood with paper windows dot the hillsides. On hot afternoons, Sachiko and her brothers Aki and Ichiro chase dragonflies as cicadas buzz their summer song. In the evenings, Sachiko's family gathers together. Mother places grandmother's bowl in the middle of the low table. As always, the bowl offers good things to eat: squid, eel, octopus, and udon noodles. Sachiko and her family press their hands together and bow their heads. Itadakimasu. As Sachiko grows older, the sounds of war come to Nagasaki. The clanging of hammers building torpedoes, the marching of soldiers training for battle, the cries of those whose husbands, fathers, and brothers have been killed in the fighting. War for Sachiko means less and less of everything. Now grandmother's bowl offers only bits of mackerel floating in broth, but the family is still together. Even Sister Misa and little Toshi learn to press their hands together. Ita dakimasu. The sounds of war grow ever closer. The grunts of boys and girls digging air raid shelters into hillsides. The wail of air raid sirens echoing through the city. The rumbles of enemy bombers flying overhead. Sachiko is eager to start school, but after the first day, the school closes. Too dangerous, says the principal as he looks up at the sky. The family still gathers each night for the evening meal. Now grandmother's bowl offers only wheat balls floating in boiled water. Mother says, "Eat everything, children. Every bit is precious." Sachiko and her family press their hands together and bow their heads. Ita dakimasu. Summer comes again. The hot month of August arrives. On August 9th, Sachiko's father visits a sick friend. Mother prepares breakfast. Aki, Ichiro, and Sachiko wait at the low table. So do Misa and little Toshi. Suddenly, the air raid siren begins to wail. Everyone runs for the shelter. They leave everything behind, even grandmother's bowl. Together, they huddle in the cave with their neighbors, hoping no bomb will fall from the sky. Finally, a siren blares, all clear. Everyone sighs. Outside, Sachiko's friends ask if she would like to play house. Yes, she would. Sachiko and her friends laugh together and make mud dumplings with their small hands. An enemy bomber rumbles high above the clouds. No one notices until it's too late. Sachiko looks around her. What happened? Father, mother, Sachiko, and Misa survive. Brothers Aki and Ichiro do too, but not Toshi. Little Toshi is killed in the blast. Through the day and into the night, fires burn across the city. Early in the morning, Sachiko's father makes the decision. We must leave Nagasaki. A train is coming to take us away from the city. We must go now. Follow me. Everywhere people are suffering. I'm so thirsty, voices whisper. Water, please, please, water. In a small hospital away from Nagasaki, Sachiko's brothers are now very sick, and no one understands why. No one understands it is because of the radiation from the bomb. Aki dies, then Ichiro dies. Sachiko and sister Misa become ill. So do mother and father. Ice chips help soothe their burning throats, but nothing can stop the pain, not even the end of the war. 2 years pass before Sachiko's family returns to Nagasaki. Sachiko's father digs through the rubble that was once their home. Something glimmers in the dust, something green and shiny. Grandmother's bowl. It has survived without even a chip or a crack. Everyone in Sachiko's family has touched this bowl. Everyone has eaten from it, even Aki, Ichiro, and little Toshi. At their evening meal, Sachiko's mother places the precious bowl in the middle of a wooden crate. Sachiko and her family press their hands together and bow their heads. Ita dakimasu. As cicadas sing their summer song, another August 9th arrives. In the morning, Sachiko's family kneels in front of the wooden crate. This time, Sachiko's mother fills grandmother's bowl with ice. Sachiko's mother speaks softly. We must never forget what happened on this day. Remember how a chip of ice eased our thirst? As the ice melts, let us remember all who suffered and all who died. We must pray that such a terrible war never happens again. 5 years pass. The radiation from the bomb makes more people sick. Sachiko's sister becomes ill and dies. Another 5 years pass. Sachiko's father becomes ill and dies. Each August, Sachiko's mother fills grandmother's bowl with ice. Sachiko and her mother watch the ice melt. Together, they remember what happened. Together, they pray for peace. Then Sachiko's mother becomes ill and dies. In August, Sachiko fills grandmother's bowl with ice. She bows her head as the ice melts. Grandmother's bowl is now Sachiko's to care for. Sachiko fills grandmother's bowl with good things to eat, just as her mother did. She presses her hands together and bows her head. Ita dakimasu. On one August night, 50 years after the war's end, Sachiko fills grandmother's bowl with ice. She can no longer be silent about what happened to her. She must tell her story. The world must know that such a bomb can never be used again. That evening, Sachiko stands before a group of children and shares her story for the first time. She begins, "What happened to me must never happen to you." And the children listen, and we hope they continue to listen. And here ends our story.
Thank you, Dana, for sharing that story. Any young ones or bigger ones who want to go back to the activity tables, you are welcome to do so, or just hang out where you are. That's a good thing. We will now give and receive our morning's offering. Two tests of the religious life are the capacity to give and the capacity to receive. Each Sunday here at the fellowship, we give away half of our non-pledge offering to local or statewide or larger organizations. And this month, in August, we're giving our non-pledge offering to Home Allies. Home Allies was created in August of 2021 to respond to the dire shortage of affordable housing in Ames. They primarily assist those folks who are below the 50% average median income of Story County and whose life histories make them unappealing to potential tenants to some landlords. They follow the housing first philosophy, providing stable long-term homes to people experiencing chronic or catastrophic life situations so they can focus on alleviating or overcoming other challenges. Of course, the other half of our non-pledge offering will stay here in the fellowship to help make this a place of community, spiritual growth, love, and justice. Now, we're going to pass the baskets here in Fellowship Hall, but for any of you with a cell phone or at home, you can go to our website, uu.org/give, to make a contribution today. And if you're visiting us, please know that your presence is gift enough. We'll now give and receive our offering.
So I'm going to sing Where Have All the Flowers Gone? And I know many of you will want to sing along. Go ahead. We did change the words just a little bit to make them more appropriate for our times now. So there's less gender binary and stereotypes in it. You'll catch on. But I also sing this song as a tribute to my friend Uta Werner, who I met through a choir exchange program. She hosted us, and we just happened to get paired together. And a way that we got to know each other, she also played guitar and sang. And so this was one of the songs that we sang over and over and that she loved. And actually, she introduced me to this song. I knew of the song, but I hadn't really sung it or played it before. So. Where have all the flowers gone? Long time passing. Where have all the flowers gone? Long time ago. Where have all the flowers gone? Children picked them, everyone. When will they ever learn? When will they ever learn? Where have all the young ones gone? Long time passing. Where have all the young ones gone? Long time ago. Where have all the soldiers gone? Long time passing. Where have all the soldiers gone? Long time ago. Where have all the soldiers gone? Gone to graveyards, everyone. When will we ever learn? When will we ever learn? Where have all the graveyards gone? Long time passing. Where have all the graveyards gone? Long time ago. Where have all the graveyards gone? Gone to flowers, everyone. When will we ever learn? When will we ever learn?
It is so good to be together again. In a world that is hurting, as we are hurting, in a world that is burning, where it's difficult to breathe the air sometimes, still there is joy. Still we cultivate and harvest community here, and it is bountiful. I love that moment when I went out. You didn't want to come in here and sit and be quiet. You wanted to visit with each other, because this is how we make connections. One of my great joys today is that I'm not starting a new job. It's that we have been together. Oh, thank you. That we have been together for a year of Sundays, a year of meetings and pastoral care conversations and justice organizing and potlucks and music and all that trips to Des Moines and all that we've shared together. And you've been here, some of you for the first time today and some of you long time passing. And we remember those who are no longer here, and know that we are all part of this growing, loving, interconnected, interwoven community. We take some time each week when we gather to share our joys and our sorrows, so that our joys are multiplied and our sorrows are lessened as we share them with each other. I want to say a word about our beloved late member Wes Shank, who joined this fellowship when he was 80 years old. He thought it was time for something new when he was 80 and got very involved and loved this place. Wes died peacefully this summer, and we've been waiting to hear what kind of memorial we would do. At our service on September 28th, the last service in September, two of his granddaughters will be here, and we're going to do a special mention of Wes during that service, after which we'll go out to the memorial garden outside the store and lay a stone with Wes's name and have an opportunity for people to share memories. I bet the Romeos have some stories to tell, among other people. And then we'll have a little special coffee hour continuing for that. So we will have an opportunity to memorialize and celebrate Wes Shank's life. There are 1,000 ways the world is hurting, and 1,000 ways that we can also find peace and healing and gratitude. That's what we come here to practice, our peace and healing and gratitude, so that we can meet the pain and the joy of the world. As we create some quiet time here together, I invite you to lift up into our shared space the name of individuals or groups that you are particularly holding in your heart today. Someone's calling one in. people of Gaza.
Cindy,
Trans folks.
Berkey,
Our hearts are deep. We practice holding our compassion wide, knowing we can hold it and we will not break. And if we do break, that we are here to hold each other. Let's sing together.
We're going to keep singing. So this call and response song, the congregation has done before way back when and a few times over the years, but Kelly's going to help me with it, and it's called, it's inspired by Lao Tzu, who, if you remember, said, if there is to be peace in the nations, there are to be peace in the cities, and if there's to be peace in the cities, there need to be peace in the neighborhoods, and on down to me. And so this is my version of it, and it starts with me. And so we're going to sing, let the peace that is in me touch the peace that is in you. Let our peace together grow, lasting peace throughout the world. So I'm going to sing, and you're going to repeat with Kelly here, and we're going to sing this together.
We're just going to stay seated.
Unless you want to stand and stretch.
Unless you want to stand and stretch. You do you.
Let the peace that is in me.
Let the peace that is in me.
Touch the peace that is in you.
Touch the peace that is in you.
Let our peace together grow.
Let our peace together grow.
Lasting peace throughout the world.
Lasting peace throughout the world.
Let the peace within our elders.
Let the peace within our elders.
Touch the peace within our children.
Touch the peace within our children.
Let our peace together grow.
Let our peace together grow.
Lasting peace throughout the world.
Lasting peace throughout the world.
Let the peace within our friends.
Let the peace within our friends.
Touch the peace within our neighbors.
Touch the peace within our neighbors.
Let our peace together grow.
Let our peace together grow.
Lasting peace throughout the world.
Lasting peace throughout the world.
Let the peace within our city.
Let the peace within our city.
Touch the peace within our nation.
Touch the peace within our nation.
Let our peace together grow.
Let our peace together grow.
Lasting peace throughout the world.
Lasting peace throughout the world.
Let
together grow.
Lasting peace throughout the world.
Lasting peace throughout the world.
Lasting peace throughout the world.
In February of 1942, folks in Ames were still talking about the New Year's Day blizzard that dumped 24 inches of snow in 24 hours. A photographer from Life magazine happened to be snowed in town, and later in January, there was a whole spread in Life magazine about the snow here. Folks were listening to Glenn Miller and his orchestra on the radio and watching newsreels of war updates at the movies. The U.S. was just 2 months into our involvement in World War II after Pearl Harbor was bombed by the Japanese on December 7th of 41. In January of 42, President Roosevelt approved the creation of an atomic bomb project. And particle physicist and Nobel laureate Arthur Compton created the metallurgical laboratory at the University of Chicago, the MET Lab. He reached out to Frank Spedding, head of the physical chemistry department at Iowa State, then college. Spedding Hall, had a special interest in rare earth minerals. So Spedding took the train to Chicago and was tasked with working on the refinement of uranium for a top secret project. Back in 1937, Albert Einstein had written a letter to President Roosevelt alerting him that the Germans were likely working on a nuclear bomb. It wasn't until June of 1942 that the Army Corps of Engineers Manhattan District was formally established, ever after to be known as the Manhattan Project. But Spedding was there at the very beginning, and he came back to Ames and he recruited Harley Wilhelm Hall, an assistant professor in physical chemistry, to lead up the Ames team. In February of 42, Wilhelm, an Iowa farm boy from Elston, a basketball star and graduate of Drake University, eagerly agreed and signed the declaration of secrecy that was required by law. He wouldn't be able to tell his family or friends, neighbors, other colleagues, even his wife, about his work or anything about the project. In the department, they referred to the work as tube alloys, after the British code name for their atomic research. Everyone wanted to help the war effort. Local boys had shipped off to serve. Over the course of the war, some 276,000 Iowans served in the U.S. Armed Forces, and 8,400 of them died. In 1942, the war in Europe was going badly for the Allies. The Germans had advanced into the Soviet Union, which was an ally of the U.S. And in the Pacific, the Japanese were advancing into Southeast Asia. It was a fierce and ugly battle on many fronts. Fear of a world takeover by the Nazis was real, and propaganda was rampant. Dangerous anti-Japanese bigotry led to the internment of over 120,000 Japanese Americans, most of whom were U.S. citizens. While there may have been some good Germans in the U.S., anti-German propaganda was much more prevalent during World War I. It was accepted as public policy that there were no good Japanese. In a propaganda film produced by the U.S. Office of War Information, all Japanese people in the U.S., citizens and aliens alike, were linked to sabotage and espionage, and their internment was justified to limit the perceived security threat. Executive Order 9066 was signed in February of 1942 by President Roosevelt. As the Manhattan Project got underway, soon-to-be General Leslie Groves, the man responsible for building the Pentagon, hired University of Berkeley theoretical physicist J. Robert Oppenheimer to lead the team. If you've read American Prometheus or seen Oppenheimer, the movie it inspired, you know that the problem of refining the necessary amounts of uranium to the purity required to build a bomb was a significant hurdle. Do you remember the scene at Los Alamos with these two glass bowls on the desk? How many of you saw the film Oppenheimer? There were these two glass bowls on the desk, and they represented the amounts of uranium, the larger bowl, and plutonium, the smaller bowl, which is a byproduct of uranium-fueled reactors, that are required for the gadgets, as they call the prospective bombs. During this fraught and heady time of research, the characters drop marbles into the glass bowls to indicate how slow the process of refinement is coming along. But soon they really started to fill up. It's not mentioned in the film, but what happened was the Ames process. Wilhelm and his team, through long and painstaking trial and error research, created a process to reduce uranium tetrafluoride with magnesium to obtain molten uranium metal. The Ames laboratory provided over 30% of the uranium used in Chicago Pile 1, the world's first nuclear reactor. The Ames process, still in use today, was quickly scaled up for use in the Manhattan Project. Here's the Ames team. Wilhelm is on the far left, and Spedding is in the dark suit, third from the right. Thousands of scientists were working around the country to create the atomic bomb, or their own little process of it. There were very few people who knew how the whole process was created. They were really, they were kept, what's the word I'm looking for? Siloed, thank you. I wrote this, but that word wasn't there. Thousands of scientists were working around the country, and they believed that the atomic bomb was necessary to end the war. Germany surrendered in May of 1945. In July of 45, the Los Alamos team had enough plutonium for the Trinity test to find out if this weapon to end all war would work. Oppenheimer said, "We are theorists. Yes, we imagine a future, and our imaginings horrify us. But they won't fear it unless they understand it, and they won't understand it unless we've used it. And when the world learns the terrible secret of Los Alamos, our work here will ensure a peace mankind has never seen." This was what they believed. General Groves wanted it in time for the Potsdam Conference, where U.S. President, now Truman, British Prime Minister Winston Churchill, and Soviet Premier Joseph Stalin would meet to discuss the next phase of the war in the Pacific. And as the scientists hoped, they would have had the Trinity test, and it would demonstrate to these world leaders what was possible so they wouldn't have to use it. They knew its potential, and they knew that the U.S. military wanted to use it on civilians in Japan. Something was moving faster than the scientists' ability to stop it. Here's the Los Alamos team leaders with Oppenheimer in his familiar pork pie hat. Trinity happened, but it barely got a mention at Potsdam. And we know how the next part of the story ends. On August 6th and 9th, this week, we will observe the 80th anniversary of the use of the atomic bombs on the Japanese cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. The immediate deaths of 110,000 people, and another 60,000 dead by the end of the year from burns and radiation sickness. That's 170,000 people dead in 1 year, and the subsequent years held sickness and death for hundreds of thousands more. This week, on August 6th and August 9th, I invite you to place some ice in a bowl. Maybe a bowl that's special to you. Maybe a bowl that's been in your family for a while if you have it. And allow that ice to melt as we remember what was wrought, the people who lived and the people who died. And when it's melted, and when you've given a blessing over it, take it outside and return it to the earth. When I first saw Oppenheimer, I was really turned off by it, including what I still think of as some gratuitous nudity. No prude me, but come on. Well, it does a good job of telling the story of the man and his efforts after the war to mitigate the use of nuclear weapons by means of international cooperation. There is almost nothing in the film that humanizes the Japanese, that tells the awful story of destruction and loss of life. So in preparation for this week, I've spent my summer with a little bit of death and destruction. I read the book and watched the film a couple more times, and I understand it better now. And I'm in sympathy with these young scientists who were funded and free to follow the intellectual implications of nuclear fission, who believed that they were beating back the threat of totalitarianism for the entire world, and who also questioned the moral and ethical implications. After the death of Hitler, Lily Hornig, who was one of the few female scientists working at Los Alamos, said, "It's no longer the enemy who are the greatest threat to mankind. It's our work." As a person who is married into science, you know, a person might be married into Catholicism. I'm married into science. Who reveres the scientific method and who believes that our lives are made immeasurably better because of science, and who wants to believe that these scientists were ethical and earnest. I do believe they were ethical and earnest still. I struggle with their impotence to stop the contagion of a nuclear arms race once the beast itself was unleashed. How do I make sense of this? How do I find sympathy or something like compassion for the military men who were doing what they were trained to do, who would not be deterred from using the bomb, even after Germany had surrendered? And as by many people's estimation, Japan was on the verge of capitulation. General Groves himself said that the first bomb was dropped to show that we could, and the second bomb was dropped to show that we could keep on doing it. Some historians believe that the bombing of Nagasaki was to show Joe Stalin that he had better not come for Japan or for us. These performances of military might when the war was near an end can be considered war crimes, as defined by the U.S. Holocaust Memorial Museum, because the targets were specifically civilian. So what are we to think? All right, you two. It's a lot. It's a lot to hold. So what are we to think and feel here in Ames in early August of 2025, so far removed in all but geographic proximity to the intellectual fervor to save the world? To be clear, the Unitarian was then the Unitarian Fellowship of Ames, later Unitarian Universalist. This fellowship was gathered in 1946, after the end of the war, after the Ames project had moved into something else, the Ames National Laboratory. And we don't know that any of the people who worked there were part of this fellowship. We don't have any evidence that they were, not that they wouldn't have been welcomed here. But something happened here in this town that both helped to save the world and destroy the world at the same time, the potential to destroy the world. And all of us, ever after, live in the atomic age. This is the essence of theological complexity, of struggling with meaning making, of building our capacity for discomfort and perhaps disagreement, of living in the questions rather than settling on one right answer. Oh, that's hard. And what are the parallels that we might draw today when the world is burning? When fear of authoritarianism is rampant, and when propaganda is rampant and authoritarianism is real. When scientific research is defunded and the results are disregarded if they don't meet the authoritarian agenda, how do we wrestle honestly with ethics and the morality of knowing that sometimes science, or really any endeavor, produces results that can be misused by those in power? Who has the moral compass? As one of you asked me last week, what gives us the right to believe that we have the moral high ground, the ethical advantage? I don't know, but I'm intrigued and drawn by the question. Empathy and compassion are fruits of the spiritual practice of curiosity. Empathy and compassion can be the fruits of the spiritual practice of curiosity. To engage with these questions, to wrestle with complexity, allows us to investigate our own biases, to build our capacity for discomfort, to strengthen our resolve for peace for all the world. And I wonder if I'm the only one asking myself if calls for peace, for healing, for nonviolence feel anemic as we strive to meet this moment. You've been working on peace your whole lives. Anybody who knows the word to Pete Seeger's "Where Have All the Flowers Gone?" have been working toward believing in the possibility of peace for our whole lives. But perhaps I misunderstand the incredible strength and power required for peace, for healing, for internal and community practices that make us agents of peace. I want to learn more about this discipline of Gandhi, of King, of the anti-nuclear weapons activists in the 70s and 80s. And we'll talk more about this next week, and especially learn more about Sachiko's inspiring life and story after the bombing of Nagasaki. In a moment, we'll watch and sing along with a video by hip-hop artist Luaya of the Peace Poets. Luaya is a poet and a journalist and an organizer with a focus on health and healing. And he performs inside prisons and hospitals, on rallies and in the streets, and works with communities for collective healing and liberation around the world. Singing together, singing loudly together helps me feel our power and our resilience. In the summer of 2025, folks in Ames were talking about the rainiest July on record. We gathered at Bandshell Park for municipal band concerts, streamed movies, and read the news on our devices. Some of us heard and believed the propaganda about undocumented immigrants. And some of us wondered who benefited from such disinformation. Some of us practiced sitting in discomfort at our local film series about racism and resilience and wondered aloud with each other, what could we do? What would we do? How can we be together in a different way, and what difference will we collectively make in the world? Let us go forth. May it be so, and blessed be.
Peace, family. We're about to sing a song that's going to bring us to this moment in which we are. I don't know where you are right now. You might be in a kitchen, a living room, a rooftop. I'm right here in this tunnel. And feeling like now is the time to heal everything that needs to be healed. It's not going to be in the future. Now is the moment. This song we sing is for this very instant. And I'm inviting you to not be shy about filling up that living room or kitchen or rooftop with your voice right now. It's time to sing together. It's time to affirm that this is the moment for healing, that we're going to invite all the people in our lives to put down what they're holding, to realize everything is changing, to listen to the wisdom of the wind, and to affirm that we are now going to heal everything we love. So let's do this together. We're going to say the words. So wherever you at, don't be shy. Say these words with me. It goes like this. This is the moment. Put down what you're holding. Everything is changing. Listen to the wind. And when you hear it, you don't have to fear it. Now's the time for healing. Everything we love. And that last line, we're gonna say everything you love. And when you say that, sing that in this moment to whoever in your life needs to hear it. Let's try it all together. It goes like this. This is the moment. Put down what you're holding. Everything is changing. Listen to the wind. And when you hear it, you don't have to fear it. Now's the time for healing everything you love. Let's try that together. This is the moment. Put down what you're holding. Everything is changing. Listen to the wind. And when you hear it, you don't have to fear it. Now's the time for healing everything you love. This is the moment. Put down what you're holding. Everything is changing. Listen to the wind. And when you hear it, you don't have to fear it. Now's the time for healing everything you love. Sing it with me, come on. This is the moment. Put down what you're holding. Everything is changing. Listen to the wind. And when you hear it, you don't have to fear it. Now's the time for healing everything you love. This is the moment. Put down what you're holding. Everything is changing. Listen to the wind. And when you hear it, you don't have to fear it. Now's the time for healing everything you love. One more time. This is the moment. Put down what you're holding. Everything is changing. Listen to the wind. And when you hear it, you don't have to fear it. Now's the time for healing. Everything you love.
Amen and amen. Be seated, please.
Let us extinguish all of our chalices, here and those with our friends online, by saying together, "We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again."
So much gratitude for today, for our musicians. Deb Klein, thank you so much for your music. And Peggy Earnshaw as accompanist, thank you so much. Dana Haas for our story today, for our folks at the tech booth, Melissa Neeson and Donna Lewis, thank you so much. For our facilitators, Sarah Carlson and Ben Willeen, and Nicole, thank you for being our board representative. Folks online, we see you, we love you, we're so glad that you're with us today. You know, I mean all the greeters and welcomers and treat bringers and coffee servers and cleanup folks, yes. We gather abundance of love and hope. Let us not believe that hope is a scarce commodity. In the midst of so much, let us mostly cultivate our hope that by being together, by sharing our stories, by wrestling with complexity and discomfort, we can cultivate more hope, more resilience, more love, more peace in all the world. Blessed be, and after Deb sings again, go in peace.
So this is a reprise of the opening, If Peace. If peace had a face, what would it be? Would it wink like you? Would it smile like me? If peace had a face, would we realize that we are the face of peace? If peace had a voice, what would it be? Would it laugh like you? Would it sing like me? If peace had a voice, would we realize that we are the voice of peace? And if peace had a place, where would it be? Would it shelter you? Would it comfort me? If peace had a place, would we realize that we are the place of peace? And if peace had a name, what would it be? Would it call to you? Would it answer me? If peace had a name, would we realize that we are the face, the voice, and the place, and the name